The people of this colourful city have one foot in the past and the other firmly in the future. Here, like nowhere else, tradition and technology go hand in hand. This is Street Food Osaka.
The castle, one of Osaka's most recognizable monuments, watches over a city of nearly 3 million people. Osaka, Japan's second biggest city after Tokyo, is 400 kilometers southwest of the capital on the main Honshu Island. A city that's always on the move, on the surface, and in the thronging subways below, where underground alleyways mimic the streets above, commuters snacking in between stops. Osaka is known as the kitchen of Japan. For centuries, it's been a culinary crossroads, blessed with food in abundance to buy and sell, right on its doorstep.
For example, food from the Japan Sea, all the vegetables taken around Kansai area, and then you have Seto inner sea circle, which you get the best fish and shellfishes available in Japan.
Osaka food is really a kind of street food. Of course, you have a lot of restaurants here, but what is important to Osaka people is to eat something fast and fill their bellies.
Osaka people are restless. It's in their genes. For example, if there's a traffic light on red, they don't wait, they cross. So there's a relationship with eating. They're impatient when it comes to food.
The pre-dawn chorus at Honjo Wholesale Market. Auctioneers taking bids for a mesmerizing variety of fish caught not just in the Sea of Japan, but all over the world. This market's been trading in seafood for nearly 500 years. But with fish stocks declining and increased demand, these days Honjo sees fewer sea catches. But the Japanese appetite for seafood remains as healthy as ever.
Michi, tell me, what is the special fish here in Osaka?
I would say it's hamo.
Hamo.
Hamo is very famous and popular, especially in Osaka.
Oh, is
Not
it really?
in Tokyo.
Not in Tokyo? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
What-
a kind of
what
our
is it?
culture.
So Michi, this is hamon.
Yes.
This is Osaka's special
this
fish.
This is my love. Hamo. Yes.
This is hamon.
Big. Oh.
Oh my God, it is huge. It looks pretty. looks pretty dangerous. I'm presuming it's not a dangerous fish.
very dangerous.
Is it-
This
sharp?
teeth.
Can I touch the
So
teeth?
it's very, very.
Oh my God! Don't do that to me.
Yes, it's you must be careful.
And how do you cook hamon? Is it mainly through sashimi, or do you actually cook it?
Of course, we can eat sashimi, but mainly we eat a little bit boiled. Very short time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. And we eat with the soya sauce or some special sauce.
From the market to the table. Now right here is a sushi bar, and I've been told that this is where you can get the freshest sushi in Osaka.
History carved out an Osaka with a unique identity. In Tokyo, the influence of the samurai, rooted in their warrior past, created a hierarchical society. But in Osaka, dominated by prosperous merchants and commerce, a society of equals evolved.
やっぱりね、カウンターっていうのは大阪人に非常に合ってるところで、大阪人はその
Because of the way society developed in Osaka, this was the first city in Japan where restaurants had counters. People could sit next to one another as equals, leaving their status at the door. In Osaka, diners are equal in their passion for food. At the counter, you can chat to the person next to you about food and places to eat. You can talk directly to the chef. This triangular dialogue, this leveling, counterculture, was born here and is typical of Osaka.
Counter restaurants abound in Osaka, serving a range of food. Customers elbow to elbow as enthusiastic chefs call out orders and rustle up sizzling morsels on bamboo skewers. In Osaka, history lives in places like this, where time stands still, in stark contrast to the world outside.
This is Dotonbori, and it is the main attraction for street food in Osaka.
Dotonbori is downtown Osaka, a cradle of consumerism and a festival of street food that comes alive after dark.
In a city spoiled for choice when it comes to fine dining, what Osaka cuisine is really known for is something quite unpretentious. It's real street food like this, balls of octopus meat in batter.
Octopus dumplings, or takoyaki in Japanese, are Osaka's most famous snack. Another fried favorite is okonomiyaki, cabbage coated in batter, topped off with an optional egg and heavy on the mayonnaise. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, in Koreatown, Osaka's largest ethnic population is cooking up a storm and bridging divides. Noriko Minami is a Japanese-born Korean who feels right at home in Osaka, despite a difficult relationship between the two countries.
Just what exactly is this?
This is senmai, stomach.
This is stomach.
When the first Korean immigrants came to Osaka, they were very poor. So they started eating the parts of animals that were thrown away by the Japanese, the offal, bits such as intestines. This became known as horomon, which means in Japanese, picked up, because it was the unwanted meat that was picked up by Koreans.
Is the Korean community accepted in Japan, just like hormone?
Until a few years ago, Japanese Korean people were not really accepted here. But now with the Japanese liking for horomon, we are becoming more and more welcome. Little by little, even if there are still difficulties. Horomon has helped Japanese people understand Korean, so the relationship is improving.
I come here for the atmosphere. It's like I'm in Seoul, in Korea, and I like that.
People enjoy eating in Koreatown because it's full of energy. That's what they love about the place.
Meat, that's what I really like.
Another dish to die for in Osaka, and many people have, is fugu, otherwise known as blowfish or pufferfish. It contains a poison hundreds of times more lethal than cyanide and has claimed thousands of lives. But that doesn't put people off, and more fugu is eaten in Osaka than anywhere else in Japan. By law, to be eaten safely, fugu must be prepared by specially trained and licensed chefs.
So here we are at a very popular fugu restaurant, and this is Suji-san, who has been preparing fugu for the last 42 years. How dangerous is it to eat this very popular dish?
There are only two parts of the fish that are poisonous, the liver and in the female, the ovaries. All the rest you can eat. To prepare fugu safely, you need a lot of experience to know where the poison is and how to remove it.
And where is the poison? Can you show us?
This is the liver, the most delicious part of the fugu. This is the part that people want to eat the most, but it's also the part that contains the most poison. But that doesn't stop people wanting to eat it, and some do. The risk of being poisoned is maybe 1 in 1,000.
How do you then separate the poison from the liver?
I slice it very finely, soak it in water and wash it thoroughly, especially all those little veins where you see the blood. Of course, you're never sure if all the toxin is gone. There's no way of knowing, so there's always a risk of being poisoned if you eat the liver.
When somebody actually tastes the poison, what happens? How does it feel?
First, your lips will feel funny. Next, you'll want to throw up. Then you'll start feeling weak. Then you collapse.
In part 2, feasting on fugu with the Japanese mafia. The down and out side of life in the kitchen of Japan. And the typical takeaways that looks as good as it tastes.
Osaka is the comedy capital of Japan, and this is the city where students come to learn the art of making other people laugh. And at this stall, they pay homage to their favorite comedians by turning them into tasty snacks.
But the Japanese take one type of food very seriously indeed. On sale at Osaka's Kuromon market is a traditional staple that's become a source of international controversy, outraging environmentalists and dividing opinion in Japan. Whale meat. Inui Seiji is a fourth-generation whale restaurateur. Mr. Inui remembers the post-war period when food in Japan was scarce, and whale meat was a cheap source of protein which kept the nation fed.
In the past, whale meat was eaten by everyone in Japan. You'd have whale for your school lunch. Whale was even fed to animals at the zoo. But now whale meat is in short supply, so it's become a precious and costly delicacy, beyond the reach of most young people. For 30 years, there's been a ban on whale hunting for food, so the whale population has increased as a result. They eat up all the small fish like sardines, leaving little for fishermen to catch. So actually, we should cull more whales to keep numbers down.
Will there come a time when the Japanese will stop eating whales altogether?
I don't think that time will come, because whale meat is something that really belongs to the Japanese culture. So no, I don't think that will happen.
The Tsuji Culinary Institute in Osaka claims to be the world's largest cookery school with nearly 3,000 students. Founded in 1961, its aim is to educate students in Japanese as well as international cuisine and prepare them for careers in the food industry at home and abroad.
Cuisine around the world is always evolving, and in Japan too. Of course, there's been a big influence from abroad, new ingredients, new ways of doing things. But what sets Japanese cuisine apart is not just the taste, that's obvious, but it's also the unique style in which it's prepared and presented. Like a martial art such as judo or kendo, the form is distinctly Japanese.
The authenticity and the purity of the food, it just can't be compared with any other international cuisine. Japanese cuisine have influenced foreign cuisine more than what we have taken from the European food.
But the French appear to be reversing that trend. This Franco-Japanese bakery is so popular, it deploys a security guard to regulate the flow of customers. Inside, everything you'd expect, from cakes and croissants to buns fresh from the oven. But the impact of this Gallic challenge to the Japanese diet on waistlines and lifespans remains to be seen. Typical Japanese fare, where style counts as much as substance, is bento, neatly presented, ready to eat lunch in a box, savoured by people from all walks of life.
Can you just tell me, what exactly is bento?
Bento is a very traditional food, but very convenient meaning, and very healthy and very good nutrition.
Now we start off with the rice. What else goes into this rice?
This one next, and they put in the unagi sauce.
The unagi sauce. Now, unagi is eel, am I right?
Yes. And then they mix it.
And you mix it. Do you want me to mix it?
Yeah.
All right. Am I doing this right?
Yeah, getting better.
Yeah.
And then put in a lunch box.
So basically you put the rice into the boxes.
Yes.
And what else then goes into the box?
And then put in this one. This one is one-piece eel.
So this is the unagi?
Yes.
So this is the tail?
Yes.
Am I putting this right? I put this in the middle?
In the middle.
In the middle, right? So this is the tail of the eel, and this is the head of the eel that goes this way.
Eggs.
This is the egg. So this is an omelette. Now tell me, how does this go?
Upside down.
This way. I see. This little plastic grass here will then separate the pickle from the omelette.
Yes. Then the unagi sauce.
This is more unagi sauce, just in case you don't have enough
very
unagi
lovely,
sauce.
so need more.
Okay.
Available to buy on the street, bento goes down particularly well at lunchtime, especially in Osaka's business district. There, hungry office workers can be found in tranquil parks, tucking into their modest but tasty meals.
Lord have mercy. Please have mercy on
This is another Osaka, one seldom seen. People living on the street, hand to mouth, in a city of countless gourmet restaurants. There's a saying, eat until you drop in Osaka, an irony not lost here on the wrong side of the tracks.
This is a downtown Osaka that didn't exist 20 years ago. People living rough in the city's parks. The blue tarpaulin sheets have become synonymous with the city's homeless problem.
Lord have mercy.
This is a painful reminder of Japan's economic woes. Street food for street people. It's mostly men who camp out here. Many had jobs for life with mighty Japanese corporations until big business began to falter in the 90s. This is an Osaka of deprivation, which has developed into a gangland of organized crime, drugs, and guns. These men belong to the Yakuza, or Japanese Mafia, one of the largest and more feared crime organizations in the world. The Yakuza have a taste for fugu, the deadly poisonous blowfish that can prove fatal if not prepared properly. It's said to suit their dicey, devil-may-care image.
In the past, it was the duty of the Yakuza to protect the town. They had the toughest jobs like firemen or builders, and they saw themselves as guardians of the community. Yes, these days they have become associated with criminality, but in Osaka especially, there's supposed to be a spirit of goodwill. They walk a fine line between criminality and doing good deeds. It's a difficult balance.
Why would anyone want to eat a poisonous fish?
Because it's delicious.
Potentially being poisoned and perhaps dying, is that too high a price?
Doesn't make any difference. We eat it because it's good. We don't care about the poison.
You're basically putting your life in the hands of the chef? You trust the chef?
Yes, because every fugu chef has a government license, which is always on display. If you don't have that, you can't serve fugu.
Ah, okay. Well, no, it's quite nice. Nice, I like it, yeah.
The Yakuza trace their origins back to samurai swordsmen. Yakuza members would pay for mistakes by cutting off a tip of their little finger and handing it to their boss as a form of apology. This meant their sword grip would be weakened, making them more reliant on the Yakuza family.
Is it fair to say that the Yakuza is a dangerous part of Japanese society?
It's like wild fugu. Not all fish contain enough poison to kill. Some do, some don't. The Yakuza are the same. Some are dangerous, some aren't. But we're not as bad as the media make out. In Osaka, the Yakuza follow their hearts, and members talk to one another directly. But in Tokyo, they follow orders from the top. It's more hierarchical, more about doing what you're told, and more about making money. In Osaka, you have to think for yourself. We use our initiative and our hearts to make money.
So what does it take to become a Yakuza?
To join the Yakuza, you have to have a big heart. You don't need money or anything else.
Precisely how these men use their hearts as Yakuza, they wouldn't tell. But they were prepared to reveal something else. Traditionally, tattoos have been the mark of the Yakuza, but they suffer for their body art. Ostracized by Japanese society. They rarely show their tattoos, but on this occasion, the fugu had made them happy and brought me luck.
Can you show me your tattoo? You show me? Oh, this is beautiful.
Get it on the floor on the same night. Have a little more if it tastes right. I'm trying to explore what your brain's like. You can tell me more what it tastes like. Run until your girls what my game's like. I ain't your man, get the name right. I'm trying to explore what your brain's like.
Do you want to see mine? I'll show you mine. This is mine. It's nothing compared to yours, of course. Nothing at all.
Behind the facade of talking buildings, flashing bulbs and neon glitz, the kitchen of Japan has never forgotten the basics. Good food at the right price, right where you want it, served fast. It's a simple, time-honored recipe that's kept pace with the advance of technology and continues to serve its people well. Osaka is a city that looks to the future without leaving its past behind.